very clear vision. He's one guy that a lot of young people who want to go into sports entrepreneurship or sports promotion, sports marketing should begin to study. Um, he's been the thing is, and not like he's been doing stuff in the background. I think he only rose to prominence, or people began to notice him when he started touring with his father, and then suddenly he announces his boxing event at the Bukum Boxing Arena, and people were a bit surprised. But for you, Nat, you know that he's been doing a lot of things in the background, playing professionally, professional football, and stuff like that. So he has also brought something very new into the space. And I also heard what you were talking about, how we can situate everything into the December activity, the death of December. I think that Sharaf's promotion, what we witnessed earlier with Anthony Joshua and everything, it was a highly remarkable, great turnout, and clearly it tells you that if you're able to put stuff together properly, you're able to market them, brand them properly, you will definitely get the attention of not just corporate Ghana, the international community, boxing lovers, not just boxing lovers, people who just love entertainment, or people who just want to be in spaces like that, where they get opportunity to meet with the Azuma Nelson, to meet with the Joshua Cortes, international boxers like Anthony Joshua, and then the business community as well. So yes, we were there. I got there, and oh my goodness, the security guys did extremely well that day. It was chaotic, and that is very typical of Bukum Boxing Arena, because it had just one major entrance, where everybody would have to go through. So it gets a bit chaotic, but I saw, the police, the military, doing their best to bring about some sanity. And they were quite, generous to Azuma. So once they got there, they got him a very nice parking. And so we didn't struggle at all to get in. And I think that you exited that arena around 6. We left almost about 5 a.m. And,
for
you even notice that time was gone.
Yeah.
Second.
Obvious reasons when I have to announce all the fights.
Yes. Because Azuma and I left there, I think, after 4, almost 5 a.m. after he was presented with the belts, the honorary belts by the BBC. So I think from what I witnessed, and prior to that, he's had, he's staged a few other events. Prior to that, and so from what I saw, I thought he's come very far. He needs all the support from all the stakeholders, the boxing federation, the boxing community, and all the people who matter to ensure that when you spend time together to create programs like that, you get the needed support to make sure that it's successful. That will motivate you to continue with what you're doing. And because imagine if you go through sleepless nights, Nat, to assemble boxes and you don't have the response from the public, that would be a bit, demotivated. So high commendation to Sharaf, and I can't wait to see what he's going to pull this come next week Saturday at the University of Ghana Stadium.
You made mention of some key names, and of course in show business, Davido was at that fight night, and that just also brings the kind of draw that the ring side has for everybody who's relevant in every sphere of society, and how boxing should tap into this very greatly to always make sure that people come and support, come out to watch, and come out to experience the entertainment.
Yes, I mean, like I mentioned, even though it's sports, it's a platform that assembles all the different component, different elements. So yes, it's a boxing event, but in between, there are musical performances. So it's one platform that brings different elements, entertaining elements. So you might have somebody who is not a fan of boxing, okay, but because of a certain musician who he or she loves featuring on that event, the person comes there. It's similar to all sporting events. So our basketball event, in between breaks, there's a low fashion show, big golf, big streetwear, but there's also a musical performance. And so same can be replicated when it comes to volleyball, when it comes to badminton, every other sport. So but for Sharab, obviously, because he's really organized himself very well, and he's also connecting with the right people. He's able to pull these superstars to the venue, and that adds to the numbers. Guess what? Even Davido, if I recall correctly, Davido was not advertised.
Yeah.
Davido was not advertised to come and perform, but he showed up. And that even adds to the surprise element that people will see the images. Oh my goodness, Davido was there. Yeah, it's because he was not like the focus. But you know that once the event it's nice and it's trending on social media, all the celebrities want to associate. And so once again, I can only say he's doing great and he needs all the support to be more successful in his endeavors.
If you just joined us, we're here live on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. And for all of our friends who are visiting from all over the world who may be watching us now, we're just situating sports and sports franchises within what you can do or what you can put on your bucket list when you come to Ghana and you want to experience Ghana. We're discussing some two key events which are taking place between now and next weekend, which should be a part of this. And here with me, one of the main sportsmen, one of the main contenders in that particular big fight night in Freezy McBones, based between UK and Ghana. And of course, Yao Sechi. Yao Sechi is the CEO of Right Sports and also the man who puts together the Africa Basketball Festival together with the Sprite Ball Schools Championship, the university football franchises and all of that. Okay, so let's now ask this one. Are we as a collective advocating enough so that we're part of the conversations when the state or the tourism authority and all of that are planning all the events that will be part of what we call maybe the Black Star Festival and all other major events that are supposed to be seen? Are we advocating enough, Yao?
Say no. I would say no. Individuals like myself and Sharaf and other promoters are working so hard to be noticed in December. But I do not, and I stand to be corrected, but obviously from previous engagement, I do not see a clear direction, and I'm going to break it down to include sports in that December. And for me, the question is, why do we even wait till December? Why don't we have the capacity to be able to attract thousands and millions of visitors or tourists to Ghana from January all the way down to December? We have a great weather. Okay, it's not winter that people can come out. So we are even missing the point. But let me stick to December. How did Africa Basketball Festival even start? When the former president announced the year of return in 2018, and we noticed that Ghana was going to be busy in December, as basketball promoters or sports promoters, I asked myself the question, how do we fuse sports into the celebration? Because if you're going to have people from England, USA, Italy, Germany, there is a certain global language that they all speak. Music is a universal language. So as basketball, so as football, so as volleyball. But the whole conversation was limited to just Afro Nation. It's an Afro chiller, and then there's a Rapahole, and there's a Kim Promise, a Promised Land. So every activity to mark the Dirty December or December in Ghana was just music event. And I said, no, that's not right. So if the promoters at the time did not think that sports could be a major draw, then let's put ourselves in there and see how that works. So that's what occasioned the idea, the concept of Africa Basketball Festival. And it's very simple. It's a basketball event, but it's laced with music and fashion. Now, basketball goes hand in hand with music anyway, because there's always music in the background. There's a jam. There's halftime performances. There are ladies all over the place and stuff like that. But now let's take it a notch higher. Why don't we put in between the breaks when there's new music? Why don't you put fashion in there? Because I'm looking at Freezy McBone in the studio right now. What he's wearing is fashion. So sports people like to look good. When they want to show up, they want to show up well. Can we bring the fashion brands, all these sports brands, they don't just wear sport attire all the time. When they're going for like some very professional stuff, they wear suits. So why don't we bring some people who are into kaftans, people who are into sportswear, and bring them together with these basketball players and fans? One big stage. So in 2019, we started with the Africa Basketball Festival, played at the Bukom Boxing Arena. And we limited it to just Accra and Tema. So it was Accra All-Star versus Tema All-Star. But Nat, I can tell you that when we sat around the table to put this concept together, we were very clear in our mind what we want to achieve in the next 5 years. Was to leverage on the numbers, the millions, I'm told, per the GTA report. Last year, about 1.2 million people came to Ghana. Other countries are doing more. But of course, it's a good starter. If in December alone, or between October and December, you have 1.2 million people coming, that's a huge success. But my point is, when we said Africa Basketball Festival, we know that we're going to leverage on these countries coming to form teams to play. So you have people coming from the US. Can we get those coming? Can we get a basketball team to come and play in the Africa Basketball Festival? Those coming from France, can we get a basketball team from France to be here? They are going to be here anyway. But do they have some basketball players amongst them who would like to play? So that we also create something very special for those who are coming. They are here to have entertainment, but it will be good for them also to be in the center stage. They are in the middle of it and the activities are happening. And so that's what happened. Unfortunately, because of COVID, in 2020 and 2021, we couldn't organize that. We came back in 2022 with 4 countries. So we did Ghana, Nigeria, US, and France. Now, let me explain that. Now, US, there's a whole team that traveled from the US to Ghana. France, we couldn't, but we relied on the France embassy. And so they are French in Ghana. Those who are staying here put themselves together. At the end of the day, we want a team to represent the country. So that, there's the whole, inclusion, there's whole, everybody's part of the conversation and the fun. Now, today we are marking 5 years already. And this year we decided to claim it 5 at 5. So we are working with just 5 countries, 5 fashion brands, 5 musical performances over 5 days. So we started on Wednesday, with the opening ceremony and fashion show, amazing success. Thursday, we played. But you see, now I want to address your question when you asked, are we being intentional about adding it? My answer was no. Why? Because even on Thursday, when we were playing, it rained. So we had to play 4 games. We could only play 1.5. Heavy rains that I can't control. So if we're being intentional about including sports, it has to work hand in hand with infrastructure. We are talking about Sharaf's event on Saturday. Let's talk to the ancestors to hold the weather.
Of course.
Because Freezy is ready to fight. This is at the University of Ghana. It's an open space. When you are playing football, they can play football in it. But they can't play basketball in the rain. They can't fight. The Freezy is fighting in the rain, he will slip. They can't do volleyball in the rain. So if we're being intentional about including sports, we need to also talk about what is the infrastructure that connects to it. Today we'll talk about one indoor arena And Nat, the BK Arena in Rwanda, which it took the president only within 10 months to construct a 10,000 indoor arena. It has become one major draw to that country. It is not just the NBA staging programs there. A lot of musical concerts. It's doubled their tourist, attraction to the country. One single arena. So there needs to be a game changer. There needs to be something that will show clearly that we are now being intentional about including sports into our December festivities. Else, we will be at the mercy of the weather. The people who are so passionate about putting events together, they will do and probably might not be too happy at the end of the day. Because imagine if there's a huge event, the boxing event on Saturday, and the rain decide not to allow it. It will be, it's not something that you even want to think about, but that's a reality. So to answer your question already, if we are being intentional about including sports, I don't see it. Maybe there's a certain conversation that I'm not aware. But as long as we will be at the mercy of the weather, then there is a disconnect.
A disconnect indeed. Freezy, you are just a week away from your fight. Tell me what atmosphere does to your fight, especially when you have to do all of this right before your home fans. Tell me what the difference is today. I mean, there are those who sit back, watch on television, watch from the arena, enjoying their drinks, coming in company with their friends and all of that. What is it that the numbers do? What is it that that electrifying atmosphere does, to you? And look at both the negative and the positive.
Our big bros just said we praying that it's not going to be rain. That's the negative side, and hopeful positive, we stay positive. It's definitely not going to rain. And then look, fighting in a big numbers in front of big people, big crowd in a university stadium is you can't go wrong with it. It's one of my dreams, and I think I'm living my dreams now, and I'm also fighting my home, So I think this is something big for me. It's something big for me.
Do you sometimes sit and look at the atmosphere and say, "Listen, I need to do something for my fans, irrespective of how tough it's going"? For instance, you were talking about your toughest fight, and this was thousands of fans. I mean, when Bukom Arena is full, it has a minimum of 5,000 in that cute space.
I think this is what I've been waiting for. That's number one, and number two, I will say it's good to show your skills. And I mean, people believe in me, although, but they want to see what this guy got. Show us. Let us see. So it's all going to happen on 20th of December, which is just a few days ahead of us, right? So I'm ready for this.
Wow.
I'm
ready for this indeed.
Yeah.
You can send in your messages. Remember, 055-11-11997, 055-11-11997, as we look forward to making sport an integral part of our celebrations in December. Well, we all know that there are certain dates that are traditional. Now, 24th December is a traditional date for Kojo Entry, the High Life legend. And so you also, if you want to be relevant, would have to pick a date and make it yours. The same 24th December is Samini Fest, where Samini also has his signature show. So a lot happens. I mean, of course, on December 25, Sarkodie does the Rapaholic show. And then on Boxing Day, we bring you the Joy FM family party in the park. Okay? And that one is a couple of days away as well. Later this afternoon, we're bringing you our Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols from the Labadi Beach Hotel. It's going to be live on our channels, and it's going to be an exciting time with a whole beautiful cast of amazing artists. And so, Yao, let's talk about the collaborations that we're seeing as well, and what it does for our franchises and what it does for public confidence and all of that. But before that, I want you to walk us through the concept of the Africa Basketball Festival. We see people wearing jerseys from Ghana, from the US, from Senegal, and all of that. Walk us through the concept and let people understand this. I mean, a couple of days ago, I was driving through the campus and I saw a lot of logistics on the center court, which is the main point of attraction for this festival. Yeah. Walk us through it, Yao.
Okay, so first of all, thank you once again. This year's festival, like I mentioned, themed 5 at 5, has 5 countries. So these countries, Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, China, and Lebanon. Originally, we're supposed to have Team USA here. They faced some challenges, and so we had to replace them with Lebanon. And we had, fantastic games yesterday. So we started on Wednesday, like I mentioned, with the opening ceremony and a fashion show. Great. On Wednesday night at the University of Ghana basketball court. We continued on Thursday. Now, Thursday, we had what we call the Bitcoin Classic. So here again, the power of collaboration. Now, Bitcoin Classic, it's a basketball event held in the States. And so they reached out to us that they want to come to Africa for the first time, and they want to partner with the Africa Basketball Festival. So the Bitcoin Classic has just four teams, and these 4 teams are the top 4 basketball teams in the Accra Basketball League. So Tax Foundation, University of Ghana basketball team, VRA Customs, they don't just take taxes, but they also have an amazing basketball team. For once upon a time, they were very dominant in the Accra Basketball League, but it looks like they've been dethroned by Spintex Night. So those 4 teams started on Thursday. It was just supposed to be a one-day event. Unfortunately, because of the
and I remember some of my very good friends who played. Yeah, some of my very good friends who played for the SEPS team. Yeah, I remember some of my very good friends who played for the SEPS team. The GRA SEPS team. I'm sure now they've all become coaches and all of that. The likes of Doji and all. Playing with their very long socks.
Yeah, I mean those guys. So and I'm happy you talk about Doji Baniba. So anybody listening or watching, if you follow basketball in the NBA, there's a young man called Steph Curry. All right. And when we talk about 3-point, shot, he can take it from anywhere. If Ghana had the system to keep good data, okay, I think Doji Baniba would have gone down as one of the greatest shooters in Africa. Doji Baniba can take 30 shots, and I can promise you, and that you already know, Doji might miss just 1 or 2, like from everywhere. And of course, you're a developing country, so you don't reach that far. But so Doji and Co have transitioned. They were there to support them. Unfortunately, the people playing now, the players playing now, they don't have that aggression that Doji and the other guys had. Anyway, so we started on Thursday. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish. But Spintex Knights, one very, very good team. They are playing in there for the 2 years running. They featured in the Road to Bow, organized by the NBA or Basketball Africa League, for that matter. So Spintex Knights and Tax Foundation will play the final, and that'll be on Sunday. So yesterday we had 4 games. It was Ghana and Nigeria in the opening game, and Nat, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Nigeria beat Ghana in the opening game. People were very disappointed. Unfortunately, that's what happened. They beat them 52 to 48. And then Liberia. The Liberian team are here just for Ghana. They said they came to destroy Ghana. So Liberia started their game against China. They beat them 93 against 49. Now, Ghana also played China yesterday, and Ghana managed 99 against 64. And then Lebanon played Nigeria and beat them 49 against 46. Now today, Liberia will play Lebanon, China will play Nigeria, Ghana will also play Lebanon, and Nigeria will play Liberia in the final game. And that is a game that you need to catch. But something very special, just like we talked about having like different celebrations, we're going to have a kids fashion show at one of the breakers. So about 100 kids. And some of these kids have come all the way from Germany, US, Denmark, South Africa. And that's the beauty in that. Parents just want to showcase their kids on this global platform. So they have traveled with their kids just to be part of the kids fashion show. And that is going to happen 6 p.m. on the University of Ghana basketball court in between the games. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll have China and Lebanon. It will be a university contest. So every year we feature 2 universities. And that game will be between Wisconsin International University College and Ghana Communication Technology University. And that will be that would herald the final game between Ghana and Liberia on Sunday. But today, if you're listening after the show, you need to come to the University of Ghana basketball court from 3 p.m. and to witness, China, to witness Liberia, Lebanon, China, Nigeria, Ghana, Lebanon, and Nigeria and Liberia. So it's a very beautiful partnership. It's unfolding. And so, like I mentioned, Square Classic has never been a part of it. But they've noticed what we're doing, and they also want to be part of the December conversation. So we created a slot for them. They came in with their crew, and it's been an amazing conversation. But guess what? It was the same day that the rain disrupted the games. So their first time in Ghana, Americans coming, organized Bitcoin, and then we showed them Pepe. The rain came down, and but they were not too disappointed. They can understand this is not America, where even high school gyms, a high school gym, you can have about 15,000 seater, 10,000 seater. I've been to a few high school gyms, and I'm asking myself, if we had this in Ghana, to get the NBA to have one of their tour, pre-season tour. Not in 2015, I had an Italian Premier team reach out to me. They want to come as part of their pre-season tour. Guess what? I set up a game against Seps Customs. I set up a game against a team in Kumasi. It was during the conversation that they asked for venue, and I showed them pictures of Tudu. The Tudu venue.
Yes.
Then they asked me if that's a
Lebanon house.
Sport.
Yeah.
And I told them, no, that's what we'll play. But this is a pre-season tour. They don't want their players to come here
and get hurt
playing on concrete floor. So even though we've gone very far, we had to stop the conversation. So they didn't come. So imagine that we had one indoor facility where Sharaf and other boxing promotions can take place, whether rain or shine. In that case, you don't even have to wait till night, 7 p.m. to organize. You can organize a boxing event at 12 midday and close by 5 for people to go home, because it's indoor. Whether it's raining, it doesn't matter the weather, we can be there. Some events can be held in the morning. So you could have one venue, same series of activities throughout the day. And it will be good for the economy. People who want to buy merchandise will be there. There'll be people, selling food, and there'll be drinks. Free sector will be impacted. So it takes me back to the original question. We're being intentional about promoting sports as part of tourism attraction, as part of even the December conversation. And the Italian team was a classical example. These teams abroad are always looking for different markets and different audiences. Why? Because if that Italian team had ended up in Ghana, they know that we would have organized some press conferences for them. The Ghanaians who didn't know about that team would know that their social media numbers will go up, because some people who are interested in knowing more about them will follow them. they can, it will be a very beautiful, conversation and an atmosphere for the players themselves who've never traveled to Africa. But guess what? After all the conversation, we had to stop. We even organized a trip for them to go to the slave capitals in Cape Coast. They were super excited about it. And the players were looking forward to it until they asked me for the venue. And I sent them to do pictures. They're like, what's going on? So a lot of things needed, in the ecosystem to ensure that sport is being promoted at the highest level.
Very well. Now, before Freezy comes in, especially with a bit about infrastructure, I remember some years ago you had started a conversation with the then leadership of the Ghana Basketball Federation for the construction of an indoor facility, especially within the University of Ghana Stadium. What happened to that? What happened to that?
I hope I have the permission of the then president. Well, I think it's public knowledge anyway. So, yes, the president of the Ghana Basketball Association then, Mr. David Adwashon, had, we've had a series of conversation, and he had approached GMPC, the GMPC board at the time, and initial commitment had been made. So we moved to University of Ghana, secured a space for the construction of an indoor facility. I think that the initial drawings and the estimates, when it was finalized, I think the numbers changed. So the president had to now go back to the board to make a justification for some increment, and I think in the process, the government also changed. So this was in 2016. So when government changed, board changed, and the rest is history. So yeah, it would have been fantastic. I'm sure what we're talking about now would not even be necessary. Probably we'll be talking about additional arenas in Kumasi, in Tamale, in Takrady, in major markets, so that Sharaf and other boxing promoters will not just be in Accra. But imagine if there was an arena that can sit 10,000 people in Kumasi, covered arena. I'm sure Sharaf every quarter will have an event there and will bring people from England, people from the US, from Mexico, and they will not even be in Ghana, because boxing is not just in Accra. Even though, yes, to be fair, Bukom has become like.
All right, so would re-establish contact with Yaosechi. Yaosechi, delving into the area of infrastructure.
The hub of boxing. Okay. We need to also be very intentional about. We need to be very intentional about building facilities also outside of Accra to ensure that we're getting the right height, the right interest across the nation.
Well, so talk about that particular effort to build an indoor facility, a 15,000-seater indoor facility. Would like to say big greetings to Mr. David Adwashong, the former president of the Ghana Basketball Federation. He laid a very solid foundation for that to be done, and we believe that if that is picked up from where it was halted, we probably could make some headway. So fantastic gentleman, Mr. David Adwashong, the former Ghana basketball president, who laid his foundation. What we as a collective must do now is to ensure that we get it there, because that will also help the university sports a great deal, because I do remember when Ghana had to host the last, I think it was the last edition that Ghana hosted, right? The African University Games.
Yes.
Or it was West Africa.
Yeah, it was hosted here at the University of Ghana.
One of them. Yeah. All right. So to you, Freezy, Saturday's event at the arena at the University of Ghana Stadium is one which will be beamed on the Zone. Yeah. It will be live on Super Sport as well, and some domestic channels.
Yeah.
Now, back in the time in the 90s and all of that, anytime you had a high-end, much sought-after entertainment event, it had to be on HBO. Once it was on HBO, you, the sportsman, go smiling. The promoters go smiling. Everybody goes smiling. And of course, those who pay the money to come and watch or to access the content from anywhere in the world also leave overly satisfied. Now, we have the case where now we're getting interests from the zone. It's amazing. And the zone obviously is the modern version of what used to, I mean, HBO, Showtime, and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because for me, I think this is the first time Ghana experience or seeing something like this, and nobody else can do this apart from Legacy Rise. The reason being is that to collaborate with the Zone, 25A, Eddie Hen, Anthony Joshua, that's next level.
Yeah,
that's next level. Because not even Ghana, in Africa, I haven't seen any DAZN shows, or I mean, it's unbelievable, you know. And guess what? More than 2 million people subscribe with DAZN.
Wow. Yeah.
So if you got opportunity to fight in DAZN, or DAZN is doing the business with you, all these people around the world is going to see you on DAZN.
Amazing stuff. Let's talk about those opportunities some more. So with these particular numbers, anybody, once you have the access and the zone decides to collaborate with you, then is a big deal, because Floyd Mayweather Jr., for instance, sat in the United States of America and staged 50 successful fights and became a global phenomenon because he had a good network. He was a master performer
100%.
in the ring and a champion entertainer, and got the right resource around him, got the right sponsorship around him.
There we go.
He made it happen right there. So it means that you can actually sit right here in the middle of Ghana and make it happen for yourself.
And I hope this is not going to be the last thing. It's going to keep continuing and keep going. This is the type of, I would say, promoters we need in the boxing. If you want to do everyone can do a boxing promotion, like Yao said. Sorry, bro. My big bro Yao. Yeah, like Yao said before, boxing is just based on Bokum, right? It's more in Bokum, but now it's worldwide. It's going everywhere. The zone is involved. 258 is involved, which is Anthony Joshua, right? So, I mean, what else do we need again? This is a big thing, big thing for Africa, for Ghana, and nobody else, like I said, Sharaf Mahama, Legacy Rice, right? So this is the thing we needed to support. Is that someone like him, we need to support him. And as for the fans, how can you support? Just turn up.
Exactly.
Turn up the night. Turn up the fight night. And for the ticket, I think is the one of the coolest price I ever see. You know, you can get a ticket for 50 Ghana City, 100 Ghana City, 200 Ghana City. So for the night, don't stay home. Just come with your loved ones.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking about that. I'll do some messages, some of the messages that are coming in. Let me do this one from Inko Joseph. It says, I'm talking about adding sports to entertainment in the month of December. I think Honorable Crosby Mensah, the Senior Technical Advisor to the Sports and Recreation Ministry, can handle that. She and her recreational team were in Ablekuma, Abiase, last weekend during the community games, Ga West versus Ga Central Municipality, and that occasion was a very big one. Also, there's another one which is coming from Engineer Michael Ajay Jan, a.k.a. Glovus. Okay, Engineer Michael Ajajan is one of our, longest running listeners, always locked onto the show. Globus, good afternoon to you. Now, he says Yao is right. I think Doji would have shot even better than Steph Curry. So we were just talking about, one of the players who, if was able to continue in his space, would have become a great phenomenon in basketball here in Ghana. And Engineer Ajajan says, look, Doji even shoots. He thinks that Doji shoots better than Steph Curry. Now, these are the kinds of conversations that people would want to debate you on any day, because they would ask you, what are you talking about? Who is Doji? And then the conversations come up about, what he's exposed to where he's played, and all of that. And that's where then we're found wanting. Let's do some more messages. This one says, "Good afternoon, Nathaniel. Great presentation. The role of sports in national development cannot be underestimated. The need to intentionally develop less recognized sports in Ghana demand comprehensive and holistic approach by all the relevant stakeholders." This is from Edmond Awaite. Edmond Awaite, thank you for your message. There's another one as well from Mr. Makwame. Mr. Makwame, he is giving a big thumbs up to Yausechi for putting together the event, the African Basketball Festival, and we're expecting him to be at ringside on Saturday next weekend when the likes of Freezy McBones and many others get into the ring. So Freezy, I mean, you are trying to reorganize things to a large extent. This is a very big turning point for you, and the question then is, what does that do for you as well? Because as you're preparing, you get to know that, listen, now from small physical crowds and some mid-level coverage from some platforms, now we're getting on the very big global platforms that handle the big nights, and the history-making events.
I think I take every fight serious, but this one I take it more than serious. Because this is going to be my first title fight, WBA Africa title. So it's one step at a time, and now I'm here, right? And also, like as I have already mentioned it, this is going to be in the zone. It's going to be in 258 all over the world. Everyone is watching it. It's not just only in Ghana. So I take this fight so serious, and I train so hard, and I'm looking forward for Saturday to put a good show on. And you can never go wrong when you obviously doing this in a big scene.
Let's talk about your opponents.
Yeah.
Whenever you're getting into the ring, what kind of assessments do you do of your opponents? There are those who say, listen, I'm just going in with my A game. There are those who also say, listen, I've watched every tape of my opponent and I know X and Y are their weaknesses, so because of that, I'm going to capitalize. What do you also do? I mean, what do you normally do?
I don't want to leak a lot of stuff
Okay.
here, but what I can say is that I respect him a lot. He's a very good boxer. He's very sneaky boxer. It's really hard to hit him, right? To get him, Jonathan, is hard because he move around. He move a lot, right? It take only if you have a boxing IQ and you obviously you work on your boxing skills, you jab a lot, you step close to your opponent, I think you can get him, So I'm trying to hide a few things for now, and if you really want to know how I'm going to beat this guy, how I'm going to put him down and get my belt, turn up on 20th of December next week.
Now, you've also observed what's been going on here in Ghana. The efforts that are being made from here to make the sport great. The last time, just like Yausechi said, we had the former undisputed world heavyweight champion show up here. You've had interactions with him. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua. What's the conversation like out there about Ghana, especially after Anthony Joshua came here for the last fight night? What is it out there? You've stepped in and out of town. I mean, I'm sure you've interacted with people about that kind of attention that Amir Khan and Anthony Joshua brought to us when they visited.
I mean, now it's obvious. Nobody will tell you, but I mean, boxing scene in Ghana is totally changed. It's not like before. Like I said before, it could be like only one place, like a Bokom, every weekend or 2 weeks and that. But now it's totally changed. Why? Because now we have right people. They love their sports, right? So they do it with the right people. When I say right people, now look at Legacy Rice collaboration with DAZN. Legacy Rice collaboration with 258, which is Anthony Joshua. what I'm looking forward to see is Legacy Rise collaboration with Saudi.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's all because it's step by step. You know, and I want to see Legacy Rise also collaboration with one of the top promoters from America, maybe Top Rank, Golden Boy, Mayweather Promotion, and all will come. You know, but like I said, in outside, I remember when I came back from UK, and we had I think a fight promotion, even our excellency came there to support.
Yeah.
After that fight, I got a lot of message. Hey, when is the next show? Can you put me on? All these boxers are text me from UK. They want to fight in the show in Ghana.
Wow.
That's how it goes. Exactly. You know, so I mean, now boxing in Ghana is far, and I'm so happy to see that. I'm so happy because there's so many young talented in Ghana. They need people in out the world to see what they're doing, right? And now this is it. This is the time.
Amazing stuff there. Would activate the phone line so that you can join us with your thoughts as well. 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. Once again, it's 0302-216-541. Messages on 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. I know that normally when boxers are getting themselves ready for these big fights, your focus is only on your fight. I mean, your particular fight,
opponent
and your opponent.
Yeah.
But have you had any interactions with all the others who are going to be on the bill? A few of the others who are going to be on the bill.
Honestly, boxing is so selfish sports, you know, because you are so focused on yourself and you want to win so bad. You don't care about who is next, who is fighting next after me or before me, right? You don't care. You just want to win, and it's true because if you don't win, you are the one to be blamed. And you don't want that, so you always stay focused. Now, my main focus is to punch my opponent's face. That's my main focus, and I'm definitely gonna do that, right? And obviously, he's saying a lot. He's saying a lot. He keep talking. He keeps saying going out. But listen, man, fight is not about talking. It's about what you, like Muhammad said, Muhammad Ali. He said, fighters, champions is made in gym, not in outside or talking, right? So I think, and like I said, I think we are our prime time. Me and him, me and Jonathan, right? And nothing is going to left. We're going to bring everything out in the night.
Talking about prime time, I mean, you have said that age is also coming in, you know, and that's one of the reasons why you decided to pass the idea of wanting to make an effort to get into the national team again, which is because of the structure of world boxing. Now you can do your professional and still go amateur as well. You know, as you project and as you look forward to doing all of these, this is a major, you know, ratings point for you. If you're able to win this bout, you get into the main ratings, and that will be big for you. Are you giving yourself a certain amount of time to get something done and say this is a career, or you're just going by the day? Which is which?
Boxing is a one of the sports. I mean, you can't lie. When the age catch you, it catch you. You can't lie about your age, you know, because when that's why most of the promoters like youth boxers, because when you are at the age of like 19 to 27, that is where the energy is, and they like that, right? But sometimes from 38 going, they think like, I think you need a time. You need to look at something different, something options, you know. But it also depend on you, depend where the kind of boxing you are. Like I told you, remember our first conversation. You asked me a question. I said, one thing about Frazy is discipline. When you have a discipline and you are more focused and you always training, which means you know what you want. It doesn't matter about the age. Age will come, but when people watch your fight, they will know now this guy still have more guts to go.
You've been staging some training camps outside of town. You know, how have those gone so far? You've done some training camps outside of Ghana.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good because sometimes you have to adapt with different kind of skills. You know, different kind of trainers, coaches to be around with different environment and see how, because boxing is obviously it's not one way, right? You have to be around with different environment to see and learn and get some knowledge from somewhere as well. And I add a little bit more into my skills and my skills now. That is why I said the Freezy we know 2 years ago is not the Freezy he is right now.
I see. Well, a lot of change is happening, and we'll see how things go. We'll be getting. I mean, you've mentioned, you know, how people can access tickets and all of that for the event, and it's from what 50 Ghana cedis upwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's so unbelievable. Like an event like this, DAZN, 258, Legacy Rise, and they make the ticket so cheap to the extent like everybody can grab it and just come to the and if you want some, I think Legacy Rise Instagram, Facebook. When you go there is a link there. Just click the link, right? It will take you to the site and you purchase your ticket. And I think they have the Momo number there as well. If you want to purchase through Momo, you can grab it. And they have VIP and VVIP. You can call for the table. You can book for your table as well. Right.
That's massive enjoyment. And talk about that. Yao Sechi some years ago put together the Azuma Nelson fight nights, Azuma Nelson dinner boxing fight nights. We held a number of them at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, and it went well. It went pretty well. You know, Yao, tell me about those beautiful memories from that particular event, because you see that also catered for a certain segment of the market, and that also then goes to tell you that, I mean, we have what it takes to put up those kinds of events. Dinner boxing, for instance.
Yeah, you're right. So those were 2015, 16, 17. I think the first two editions were at the Kempinski Black Tie event. And that clearly, it was a different vibe. You know, you didn't hear the shout, you know, but what is boxing without, you know, those shouting from, you know, the supporters union? You know the things they say, you know, which I can repeat on radio. But it was quiet, you know, some jazz music in the background, and people in bow tie and 3-course meal, and things like that. And it was expensive because if you're doing an event at the Kempinski, you know how much you're going to pay for the hall and all. And if they're providing or the catering 3-course meal, it's expensive. So you cut off a lot of fans. Fans, I don't know how many people will be able to pay 1,000 Ghana cedis for a ticket, you know, to come watch the that time. I think it's about 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that. But we did attract, you know, big boys who came to watch, and it was live on Super Sports as well. So those were great moments. But at the point, it was Azuma who said, no, we need to take it to the people. Let's take it to Bukum Boxing Arena, because he wants all the fans to get the opportunity to watch their boxers in action, not to watch on television, but to watch them live in action. And so after 2 editions, we took it to the Bukum Boxing Arena, and I think the third one marked his 60th birthday. A very special one that had UMC that. that had the WBC send a special belt, send delegation, to come celebrate him for his exploits in the ring and things like that. And we've never looked back. There were a few things that, if you're asking why we stopped, you know, Zuma, Zuma is too he's too particular about things, not in the bad sense. So, for example, he's very particular about which boxes are we showcasing. So you want people to pay 100 Ghana, 200 Ghana, 50 Ghana to come and watch a fight, and he would visit the gyms himself. He will go and examine the boxes. And a few times, I know he had issues with the matchmaker to say, but this guy is not too qualified. And the opponents you were giving him, we're not going to have like a good fight. So when there's a mismatch, when it's not balanced, he would have issues with that. And so there are a few other challenges that, at the point he was like, you know what, I don't want to do this, because sometimes working with him, and that's what Freezy said, if you get the right team to work with, it makes things easy. But when the opposites, when the reverse is the case, it can be a bit frustrating. But yes, indeed, the Kempinski moments, those times were great times. And I know you miss it because of your bow tie.
Yeah, Sichi. When we're wrapping up the show, I'm going to play your favorite Lumba song for you. That's a promise. As we celebrate the memory of Daddy Lumba, who's being laid to rest in the Garden City in Kumasi. Let me just take you through the bill again for the. Now that we know what is happening with the Africa Basketball Festival, we would get on to what we'll be expecting next weekend. So the University of Ghana Legon campus is busy from this weekend into next weekend, and this is for very obvious reasons. Now, the main event of the evening is between Craig Richards and Dan Aziz. Now, Craig Richards has a record of 19 wins, 4 losses, and a draw. 12 of his wins have come by way of knockout, and he's based in Crystal Palace, UK. Now, Dan Aziz is also from Lewisham in London, UK, with a record of 22 wins. Check this out, 22 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, with 14 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Craig Richards has a bit of a reach advantage. He's on 6'1", while Dan Aziz is on 5'10". Sometimes it doesn't matter, because Freezy McBones here with me is not the tallest of friends you have, but he can really do some punishment. Now, the WBO Global Super Flyweight title, that fight is between Theo Alote. He's undefeated, and he is from Ghana. He's undefeated in 12 bouts. He's recorded 10 knockouts out of them. And Jay Rakinel. Jay Rakinel is from the Philippines. Now, let me tell you something about the Philippines. You all do remember our good friend and a brother, Isaac the Royal Storm Dogbe. Isaac Dogbe fought a Filipino boxer, John Neil Tabanao, before becoming a world champion. And this was for the WBC youth title. Look, guys, that guy was something else. Look, John Neil Tabanao is one of the finest opponents who has called our soil in my career as a boxing journalist. I mean, John Neil Tabanao gave Isaac Dogbe a very, very stern test, and this was at the Police Fitness Center. Once again, we left the place at dawn, at 3-4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very good fight. So J.R. Rakinel is from Quayan in Philippines, and there's quite a number of Filipinos in Ghana. And I remember very well that the last time a Filipino boxer fought here, we had quite a number of them at ringside, and that should just tell you that we're going to have some good support from the Filipinos. And of course, the fight in focus, 2 undefeated boxers coming up against each other. Interesting. So Freezy McBones, who's here with me in the studio, Jonathan Tete, unfortunately couldn't make it. Now, Freezy has just 1 fight more than his opponent. So it's 11 wins and, undefeated, and of course, 10 out of them coming by way of knockouts. So Jonathan Tete also has done 10 wins and 10 KOs. So this is a very big grudge fight, without a doubt. And this is for the WBA Africa Light Heavyweight title. And Freezy, the advantage that you get here is that you are the one seated in front of me. I mean, if Jonathan were seated across, he'd also say that, listen, he's going to give you the first loss of your career.
Interesting.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Let's also, throw focus on this heavyweight contest that's coming up. It's between Leo Atang, he's also from Yorkshire in the UK, and Babu Yusuf from Uganda. Okay, so Babu Yusuf has 3 wins, a knockout, and of course Leo Atang also has a modest record of 2 wins, undefeated. So another bout where there are 2 boxers that are coming up and are starting off their careers and are yet to taste defeat. And then you have the IBF International Super Welterweight title fight between Ibrahima Diallo and Samson Segbeji. Ibrahima Diallo is from Belgium, and he's also undefeated. Well, the story of undefeated boxers in this showdown boxing fight night is something else. It's going to be something else. Now, so Ibrahima Diallo on 12 wins, undefeated. Samson Segbeji also on 10 wins, undefeated. Okay, well, let's go to the next one, which will be the Super Welterweight contest between Nishant Dev from India and Ali Mbukwa from Tanzania. Now, these Tanzanian boxers as well, they can also be very, very troublesome. I remember Joshua Clottey, the former IBF welterweight champion's last fight here. He fought Infaume. I remember very well. Look, that guy is also a very, very good boxer. So some very good, credible opponents coming down to call Ghana. And the good thing is that we have a fine mix of boxers from different places, from the UK, from Belgium, from India, from Tanzania, and other places around the world. Okay, let's see how things go with that fight night. It's just a week away, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Okay, so there's also a WBA Africa Super Lightweight title fight between one British boxer and Ghana's Jerry Latte. Jerry Latte has gone 7 wins without a loss. Jesse Brandon also 5 wins without a loss from the UK, fighting the Ghanaian. Now, an IBF Africa featherweight title between John Lai. John Lai is one of the big prospects from Ghana, and his opponent, Holy Dugbeto. So it's an all-Ghana affair, and it's John Lai, the undefeated John Lai, and Holy Dugbeto, who's gone 14 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. And then there is the Ghana-Niger battle. Sedem Adama, who's based in the UK, undefeated in 4 bouts, and Chiamaka Inwaturocha. Okay, sorry. Inwaturocha. I normally don't struggle with Nigerian names because I trace my roots to Nigeria, right?
Oh, lovely.
So the name is Chiamaka Inwaturocha. He's also undefeated in 4 bouts. So Ghana-Nigeria affair. No Jollof wars here. No Jollof wars here at all.
The ladies one.
Yeah.
The first bout.
Yeah.
Sedem.
Okay.
She's my teammate.
Okay.
We and both of us. That's why I'm so shocked to see her name here. Me and her was the only 2 boxers we won Haringey Box Cup.
Wow. Haringey Box Cup. Okay.
In UK, you have to box 3 to 1 a gold. And
I see.
Me and her.
Yeah.
And
Haringey, the police,
Yeah.
I know Haringey.
So we was the same gym.
They visited, the Haringey team visited Ghana some years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. They fought against the Greater Accra team.
Yeah, I see. So we was in a double job. That's our gym name in South London. So I wish her good luck. It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, ladies boxing. Ladies boxing. Yeah. Amazing stuff there indeed. So the big promotion, big collaboration between Sharaf Mohammed's Legacy Rise Sports, Matchroom Promotions, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Promotions, and the legendary Anthony Joshua's 258 boxing. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like you can see every fighter here is fighting for something great.
Yeah.
Is fighting for title.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Amazing stuff. All the main bouts have titles attached to them.
All your hard work is going to be paid off. After the fight, you see something on your waist, you're going to be so proud. And that's what I want on the night.
Amazing. And of course, earlier this morning, The team had a little walk to publicize the fight.
Yeah.
They went through from the Bukom Arena all through the principal streets into to the Accra Stadium.
That was beautiful.
And that went very, very well.
Yeah,
The Ghana
yeah,
Supporters Union
yeah.
being a part of it.
Yeah, I couldn't be there, but I saw it on the media. It was beautiful.
We're getting into wrapping up the conversation this afternoon on the Joy Sports Link with yourself and Yao Sechi. But I want you to tell me, just for the benefit of our listeners, when boxers get into the final week, I mean, I know what happens, but you would want to hear it from you. I announce the fights and I write about you. I never get into the gym to punch those bags. The last week of getting ready for fights. Tell me about the psychological preparation and how you wrap up training, basically. Because in the coming week, we know there's a big news conference coming up.
Yeah.
The weigh-in would also come up as well, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the last week is, I think, if you are very close with a fighter, you know me, you know my energy, right? You can tell, like, nah, there's something wrong with Frazy today. My mind is so focused and my body has become a bit thinner because that week you need to be on point on the weighing day. So you don't want to be overweight, obviously not. So you try to manage on how you drink, how you eat, and everything on that. And that is a serious week because it's the end of the camp. That is the last week of the camp. So you're so focused, you drink.
Have you had any, instances where the weight became a little troublesome for you?
I think that was in amateur.
Okay.
It was only 1 kg. That was in amateur, yeah. But since from that, I always make sure I'll be on point of the on the weight.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Well, we've spoken at length this afternoon about sports taking its true place in the industry and making sure that within this whole tourism mix we get things done. Interestingly, just last week, Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team were also talking about how creatives and those in the arts and entertainment industry can make this and other Decembers memorable through the kind of content that they create. And the job is just, on our shoulders to make sure that this happens and the world hears of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will wrap up by saying, creative sports, other sectors all need to be included in the agenda of Better December or Black Star Experience, which I'm told is not just focused on December. That really excites me because I think that we have what it takes to attract millions to this country, year round, not just in December, because you have a good weather, right? And you have very warm people. And so we just need to include, the infrastructure. We just need to engage all the stakeholders. So, for example, the creative, when it comes.
All right. So just when he was making the final
drama.
point. Okay, it's back.
We
here.
call them to a meeting. Let's say the Ghana Tourism Authority call them to a big meeting to say, what can we do? What kind of programs can we put in place to ensure that in January we can have a big event that will bring millions or thousands to this country. In February, what can we do? So maybe February could be sports, March could be theater performance. There could be several things that we can do every month. And then you climax it in December. So December becomes more like the grand finale. Before we can achieve that, Nat, we need to also bear in mind the infrastructure to ensure that happens. If you're going to do a theater, you can easily go to the conference center or the National Theater. Even that, they will tell you, those professional folks will tell you, conference center is not suited for that because it gives you echo. I've had, a series of conversations on that. So we need to at the planning stage, we need to also set target, realistic target. As to when can we have a proper theater built for that? Where can we have an indoor arena for that? Where can we have? So it all goes into the planning. And sometimes not, it would not, it would not require the government to make that investment. It requires the government to show the direction. And before you see, corporate folks will step in and build this infrastructure that we talk about. So it's direction for me and the right stakeholders engaged. And at the end of the day, everybody's going to win. So that's how I will end my submission.
Amazing.
And Nat, I'm sorry, I even I said, but just to remind people that the games are happening from 3 p.m. today. Our first game will be played at 3. It's live on GTV Sports Plus. But the first game will be played at 3. Liberia is playing Lebanon. The next game, China and Nigeria. Ghana will play Lebanon. And then we'll end with another big banger, Nigeria versus Liberia. So come to the University of Ghana basketball court. It's free. And there are a lot of gifts that we're given. It's Christmas, right? So there are a lot of products that we're giving away. So just come have fun, come with the family, and let's have a good time together.
And of course, Kwame Dazi, who will be taking over the radio between now and 6 p.m., joins me here. Kwame, we've been discussing what sports can do within the bigger mix of the big boom in the numbers of visitors who come from all over the world to Ghana. We've been talking about boxing. We've been talking about the Africa Basketball Festival. And I know I'm going to have you at ringside next weekend, you know.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Have you watched any live fights in recent times?
Not in recent times, though. But yeah.
Yeah, so it means it's compulsory next weekend.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We day inside. We day inside.
Okay, so Kwame Dazi is going to be our guest, at ringside next weekend at the University of Ghana Stadium, and it's going to be something amazing. And hey, we have to say a very big happy birthday to a couple of people who
before
listen.
that, though,
we're
we're not doing Showbiz A to Z today.
Yeah, we're going straight to
we are going to the Badi Beach Hotel.
Very well.
Where we're having the Joy FM's Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols.
Yes.
Exactly 3 p.m. we cross over. It will be live on Joy FM and Joy Prime Television. Yes. So today we are not doing show.
And the artists. Oh my goodness. The lineup of artists.
Oforian Ponsan is representing.
Wow.
Live.
And guess what? The last time I introduced Oforian Ponsan on stage, he was backed by the Inchinchim band. And boy, oh boy, Freezy, Charlie, you should have been there.
Wow. Yeah.
That is one of the best Oforian Ponsan live performances I've ever seen. Yeah. Look, at the guests at the party came over to dance, and it was something else.
I know those Inchinchim guys are.
Oh, they're something else.
Seriously
Charlie, Inchinchim band, the guys, big ups to them.
Yeah.
So I see Yao Sechi is already cooking something to put them on the bill. So
oh wow.
Trust Yao Sechi on that. Yeah. So Ofori is gonna be on the bill.
Yes, we have Quindalin.
Perez Music, my God, brother.
Lexi the comic.
Oh, Lexi the comic.
General Intatia.
Charlie, but I thought Lexi was taller than you. That's going to be a miracle, right?
Lexi was what? Are you talking about George Quay, or are you comparing him to George Quay?
In both situations, this is all going to be miracles.
But as we speak now, that the Lumba's funeral is still ongoing.
And I think before, and you've brought up this very, I think that Yao, we should just, spare our final tribute before we wrap it up and hand over. Yao, we've always been talking about the song that's in the background, and how we jam to it all the time. Brief thoughts on Daddy Lumba.
Okay, so obviously we wish he had stayed longer to give us more hits. Unfortunately, as we say, God knows best. It's just a shame what the family the way they've conducted themselves over the period. It's so pathetic. And once this is settled, they will now have a reality check. But thank God that it's going home today. We can only wish him well wherever he is, and it's a lesson to all. But Daddy Lumba's legacy will still be here for a very long time, regardless of how pathetic the family and everybody involved is conducted themselves. But he was truly, truly a legend. You know, now I'm beginning to hear some of the lyrics. For a very long time, I sang some of the songs I never understood.
Lumba hid a lot
Now,
of things in his lyrics.
Lumba is
Hid a
something.
lot
There's
of
certain
stories
history
in
about
his
that
lyrics.
guy.
Yeah,
Lumba is the only musician. He sings and there's a debate. Or to say,
What's to say? Exactly. That's very true.
Meanwhile, you can play back to back to back. You still don't hear what he's
Do
saying.
you know Awushi?
I know. I know the Awushi story.
Amazing guy.
Yes,
that God
but
gave
we have to
all
discuss
us.
that off air.
But you used to know Shati Body?
Kwame, what did he say?
No,
Kwame, what did
we
he
know
say?
Awushi now, but you know Shati Body?
Charlie.
Yeah, so we wish him,
the
wish
guy
him
was
the best,
tough,
and
man.
I hope that this is not going to deter people from going to support. I've seen some images. It looks like he's on his way to his final resting
Yeah.
place. So we wish him all the best. God be with him wherever he is.
Thank you very much, Yao Sechi and Freezy. Maybe we should let you bring in for his ring walk for Saturday. We should play him a Lumba hit, maybe.
Nah, that's for real.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah,
real.
yeah. Thank you so much. And Kwame,
Yes, sir.
Yasamoah, happy birthday to you. Happy blessed birthday to you, Yasamoah, from all of us, the Irish crew guys, and then also to Nancy Botre, who's the executive assistant to the CEO of Ghana Gas. Happy blessed birthday. It was yesterday, but it's a birthday weekend, so yeah. So Charlie, I've seen you are dressed up already, but I have to also go and change into my
I think you can come in.
Yeah, I know, but I have to wear some nice shoes,
Yes, nice shoes.
Nice shoes. Charlie, finally, before your thoughts as well. I'm privileged to have been part of the process to announce his final award on the stage of the TGMAs. This was exactly 10 years ago.
Wow.
And to tell you the truth, even at that time, he was not too well. And so that just tells you the quiet struggles that he's had with his health all this while.
Sure.
And yesterday, in my moments of reflection, I drove past his residence.
Okay.
At that time, they hadn't, in East
Yeah.
Legon, they hadn't, driven to Kumasi yet. It was a very close-knit thing. And, it just hit me that the man was gone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am just looking forward to what we do with his legacy after the burial or the funeral. Because after all the controversy from the family, I'm looking forward to seeing even the state, as in the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, create something.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a museum in his honor. I hear he has a number of recordings yet unreleased.
Yeah.
I'm looking at maybe a release, a posthumous release in his honor, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he deserves better than all the controversy going on.
I agree with you perfectly. And to wrap things up, Kwame, last night I was having a chat with some close friends of his, and and to tell you the truth, there were people who did not give up, even though there were last minute uncertainties about whether or not the funeral was going to come off. And so there are various loyalists of Daddy Lumba who have various platforms, and so some of them left from Accra Mall with a full bus. Some of them left from Independence Square. Some of them they planned and left from different parts of the capital, traveled through the night so they could be in Kumasi for and for an individual who's been active in the music industry, in Europe and in Ghana from the 80s till now, and remains relevant till now. It's a big lesson for all of us.
Yeah, I was really surprised seeing the number of people at
the funeral, at the grounds,
at the venue now, because you know when initially it came out that they had placed an injunction on the body and all that. Then 2 hours later, the
whole place was full. Yeah,
Charlie.
I know that in subsequent days, people would want to do reviews about the way the funeral went and all of that, but would have wished that there was a bit better coordination and all of that. But for me, it is more, I want to focus on the positives, because we've all had a long day regarding the controversies and everything. True. And for me, I think that let's just look at the numbers you've talked about and how the numbers just go to show, is a microscopic view of what really Lumba means to all of us.
In the morning around 9 a.m., when I saw videos of people gathering, I heard people say, as in there were no dignitaries. But when I was leaving the house, I saw former President Kufuor is there. General Mosquito is there.
The Ashanti Regional Minister,
is
yeah.
there, and a number
Some
of
big
other
businessmen,
dignitaries,
you know,
also.
yeah.
And then even despite
Ofori Sapong and all of, and
so they are all
Lexter
there.
Ghana, Mr. Rexford Brobe.
And I'm really happy that they were able to go amidst all the things happening. And so I think Lumba, as you just said early on, he's a great force to reckon with when it comes to our music industry.
Charlie, let's wrap things up and go and talk about the things that Lumba hid in the show. You see, Yao, we'll talk about it later. Lumba hid a lot of things in his music. All right, so that's the show for you. Thank you all so much, and we'll catch you later. For those of you who didn't get invitations to come to Labadi Beach Hotel, would have fun on your behalf, but be with us because in the next hour, we're crossing over to the Labadi Beach Hotel